Hello everyone, welcome back to Feldy. We are on the main barnyard of this wonderful map created for Farming Sim 11 by Farmer Yip. Let's head to the field. Oh, we're kind of buried in the hedge here, with a tree planted right into our tractor. Well, this is our fertilizer spreader, and I've spent a lot of time off cam. We finished cultivating all the fields. I didn't know how much of that people would want to watch. Maybe they don't want to watch any of this anymore. But this is a fertilizer spreader. I've been following on the heels of the planter. The next field, of course, is this one over here, dead ahead. I've been planting a lot of corn, and I think I'm going to come back here at some point and fertilize this field. But let me continue to the next one. This is an idle tractor just sitting here doing nothing. When we were done cultivating, he was there. This fella is hauling water, and let me go see here. Oops, how much water do we have? 6,800. You know, the hard part is I don't have a course going from the sheep over to the water pump. So I think I'm going to send him to biofuel. This is where course play is really handy, so I'm going to get him going. So I'm kind of doing some odds and ends. You know, I previously had dumped a whole bunch of feed stuff here, so I have a feeling if we look through cattle trough, biofuel, somewhere in here is the sheep trough. Here we go. Yeah, so it's already working, taking its time with the feed stuff. We need quite a bit more water, I think, to continue making wool and make a tidy profit with this. So that's kind of what we're doing here, is moving in some water. I'm going to send him to the biofuel maker. Hopefully with 25 gallons of fuel, he will make it. We will see. We'll send him off. We're going to continue on. We're not using our forage harvester at the moment, so we'll kind of let that sit. Otherwise, it landed us in the middle of our livestock, and as I look at this, the hedge is getting rather tall. Here, the windrower sits waiting for the grass to regrow. It's kind of well on its way, so nothing really to do with that at the moment. And like I say, it's kind of the fall planting and harvest season. Let me just get this out so we can either fuel or give seeds to our planter. I think I'm going to pull him out of the way over here. Let me get him over on this side of the road. And maybe that's good enough. I don't know. Just kind of get out of the way of the fertilizer spreader when we come through. We'll leave you here. Alright, so here we are going to plant. Now, next door... Oh, what did I put in next door? You know, I can't even remember. I don't know that it's corn, but it might be corn over in here. But I want to plant some root crops again, so I'm going to put in, here's kind of a relatively flattish field, if you will. So I think it's a decent candidate to do the root crops. For some reason it seems harder to do the root crops on a hill. So I think, let me go for, this is where you gotta play a little psychology with your hired help. And I think this is enough room at the top of the field to turn around, but just to make sure, I think I'll plant a strip so we can keep him going. Hit the B. Here come our beets, sugar beets. And once again on the Feldy map, remember this is Farming Sim 11. We wouldn't have beets in the game until I think it's Farm Sim 13. Oh bother! Good grief! I should have checked that, shouldn't have I, before just heading off here. So let me pick that up. I'm going to zip down here and refill with seeds. I wish I would have noticed that, but I didn't. because, as everyone can figure out, I'm not a very highfalutin operator. I'm gonna back him in over here, and we will, actually it'll showcase this nifty the trailer. I just love this trailer. There we go. The TSL trailer, where you can fuel, you can wash it, and I haven't tried this here yet. Actually can't see it. Maybe you can pick up some spray in this particular area of the trailer. Don't know, but I do know you can refuel, and you can fill up with seeds. And of course, if ArmSim 11, even if this is sprayed out here, sorry for bringing this up, just trying to get the mouse pointer, it's fertilizer. That's ultimately what it's doing. So I haven't tried to refill the fertilizer spreader next to it. Maybe it could, maybe it couldn't. Probably can't. I'm using the kelp fertilizer spreader, so it probably couldn't put a conventional fertilizer in it, but I don't know for sure. Alright, let's try this again, and I'm going to hire him when we get down to the end. And I like starting at the narrow end when there is hired help involved, and try to get this all lined up according to my handy dandy compass over there. And I could be mistaken. The whole previous episode, I was talking about fixing a modding problem with red clover, and one of the names that came up was Decker MMIV. I almost think he has created, I don't know if it was this one, it might be his, a compass. And it's just really handy. If I try to get it on the 9-0, I think I just need to get it close and be happy, and that's probably as close as it's going to be. Alright, I'm going to hire him, and of course our little lizard is complaining because it needs some fuel. Yeah, I think this should turn around. I think this will work, and he'll end up doing the whole field, which is kind of shaped a little different here, but I think he'll track it there. Anyway, I'm just going to ignore my tractor down there for a moment as we continually. Alright, we for sure don't need the combine, but you can see I planted these fields down here. They are growing and getting ready for harvest. Probably be harvestable the time I get done planting. Alright, while our guy is planting over there, we are going to come along here and fertilize the field. I kind of enjoy it. There's no way that I'm aware of hiring this. Yeah, just ignore the fact that I'm driving through our hedge. Probably if Farmer Yip saw this, he would wonder what I was smoking to think I could drive through a hedge. But fortunately, there's no collisions. I don't know of any clean way to do the outer edge of a field, where you can kind of see how far it's kicking material over. So I'm just doing it this way here. I'm sorry if it messes with anybody's sense of suspending real life. Oh, for immersion rather. This thing is so light. There's some more modding work really needs to be done to this fertilizer spreader. I don't know who made it. It's a really cool spreader. It's unique as a side spreader. That someone created a mod like this. But it's kind of floppy. I mean, every time you turn a corner, the thing half turns over. And anywho, we are just fertilizing here, kicking it out on the field, while our guys are doing other things. And like I say, I kind of think I put corn in this field. I put in a lot of corn, mainly for the reason, we have, you may recall last time we had an overabundance of OSR. I did plant, I think, a single field of OSR, so we'll have some. Basically has something to put in the new field down there. Not sure why I even put it in there. Could have just as well been corn. But we need a lot of corn to catch up to the amount of canola that we have sitting in our biofuel factory. So that's kind of the reason I put in all the corn. Plus, if I end up having more corn than I need, y'all may remember that I installed a VGA mod. You know, we do have the, I think there was 3 DLCs, Farm Sim 11, and one of them came with the ability to put in a VGA. And so having all those installed, but this particular map not having a VGA, I went ahead and installed one anyway. Just did a little mapping work and put it down there, down by a sell point, kind of down where we sell the cattle. So if we have any corn in abundance, I figured we could take it to the VGA and turn it into silage and build some energy out of it and earn a little extra money out there. Let me check, make sure my guy, yep, he's over there replanting. Great. I just love the animation on this fertilizer spreader designed for kelp. This is just what's so cool about, you know, Farmer Yip's maps and how unique he made them back in the day. I mean, who has kelp? Fertilizer made from kelp, some kind of a seaweed. Who has that in their map? I don't know of any other map that built something in like that and then made it functional in-game to where it made, and we did this in a previous episode, makes financial sense for the player to, you know, take care of their fertilizer needs with kelp versus building the regular granular type fertilizer, you know, that most of us would be familiar with. Alright, that's the second round, and maybe I'll do a third one before I go check on my little lizard 2850 down there. It's patiently waiting to be refilled with biofuel. Hopefully on Courseplay he isn't just using up a lot of fuel sitting there waiting. But you know, that does bring up another point. I happen to have some decent funds in here, so I'm kind of wondering if, you know, I have the trailer over there where I can refuel my equipment, and I have kind of a central fuel tank sitting just a little ahead of the tractor here, kind of on the other side of that field. But I'm wondering if I need to get a couple other tanks and put it down south on the map so that I have a place to refuel when I'm down there. Because really, the lizard is down there kind of high and dry. You know, it reported, Forceplay reported it was low on fuel, and I'm going to need to drive something down there to it. So as soon as I'm around the corner here, I think I'll pause fertilization for the moment and come back to it. Get it all set up, and let me go to my Land Rover. I'm gonna drop the trailer here, and let's head to the store. I'm gonna drive him down to the biofuel, and we're gonna take a fuel trailer in tow. I could just grab this one over here, but it's at a convenient spot. I know my Courseplays work around it, so I think I'll leave it there. Alright, let me go to the store, get some fuel. Implements, miscellaneous. Was it in here? Maybe not. Not a cow, mods, no tractor. I must have gone by trailer. Aha, mobile fuel tank. That's 10 grand, well spent. And there it is. We'll just get this. Hopefully I can hook it. Oh, good. It'll let me do it. And we'll just zip on down and take this to our lower farm area down by the biofuel so that we have a permanent place with which to get fuel. I know on the main farm over to the left and center where all those grain bins are over there that we've never used. Actually, let me zip around him. No, I can't. I shouldn't zip her. Went right through the hedge, scratched the paint of our beautiful Land Rover. I don't like driving over the fields when we got crops in them, even though it doesn't harm them or do anything to it. We'll try not to do that. I know I drive all over them when they're nothing but dirt. But I think if I take this down here, we'll have a fuel source, kind of more local. So if I on the Land Rover, I've had this trailer kind of permanently on it. Not this one here, but the DSL trailer, the modded one. I've kind of just been pulling that thing around, wherever the equipment goes, the Land Rover goes, so we can service it. So this might mean I don't have quite as much. I'll probably still do that, when I harvest. That's just a little bit more real. Alright, we'll get out on the highway. Make sure I stay in the left lane like a proper Scotsman. And we'll head this on down. The other crop is coming up over here. This is corn, both sides of the road, as I recall. Lots and lots of corn. So it's going to look kind of green as we get down the hill and kind of overlook this, because it's all the same crop this particular time. Last time I had quite a bit of OSR in here. I was experimenting between it and the regular canola, and the yield from OSR will greatly outpace what you get with a standard canola. The disadvantage being is that it has to be windrowed first, and short of making a course play for it, you have to drive all of that manually. Alright, let me see here. Oh, that's a perfect place to park it. Yeah, maybe let me get turned around. Oh, that's where my hedge trimmer is. Good to know. Okay, it's sitting down here because I'm going to need to trim the bushes around here in a little bit. Let me pull this right alongside here. Just kind of drop it off there. Let me get that out of the way. Drops me out. Notice, Russell, it drops me out on the right-hand side of the Land Rover. Let me zip over to our... Huh. That must be a function of course play. That trailer's empty. There's no way the tractor could put itself kind of up in the air. But okay. So it should drop here. Oh, boom. Down it goes. Okay. I don't actually know how much biofuel I still have. Biofuel, it always rearranges this stuff. 76,000. Okay, so we have quite a bit more biofuel. I think there's lots of water we're going to need, to take care of the feed stuff that we gave our sheep. Frankly, there's probably a lot of wool up there getting ready to be picked up too. This map is a multiplayer map to the core, and there's... Oh shoot, I was going to go get some fuel. There is way more than any person can do, no matter how many course plays you have set up. It is just impossible to keep it all running all at the same time. It needs multiple people because there's so much to do, whether it's hauling fuel up to the water pump or the well, or hauling wool to market. There we go. Alright, let me get it on a course here. Biofuel to water pump. There we go. Off we go. Let me see if it'll let me go to my Land Rover. It does. Alright, let's get out of Dodge. We'll head back up the hill. Hopefully that combine header stays out of the way. Go through this narrow hole in the shrubbery here. It's encroaching on the road. I put a long growth time on these shrubs, and I guess you hardly, or the hedge, I call it shrubs, you hardly notice them until they get all big and bushy there. But yeah, they need some attention here. I do have a spare tractor, so maybe if I catch up here on fertilizing, I can dig it out. I got to come clear back down here with the tractor again just to pick up the hedge trimmer. I want to try the Raba tractor this time when I trim the hedge. Last time I used the little lizard, and I think the hedge trimmer was just a little too heavy for use on the lizard. It frequently, the front end of the tractor was in the air, and oh, I see some skip spots in the field over there. Oh, who is the incompetent guy that sowed the field? That would be me. So I don't think I'll try the lizard. I'll try, I think the Raba tractor's a little bit heavier, and hopefully they work better with a trimmer. I also need to wander, maybe something else I could do is bail up all these little extra windrows on the map where the swather cuts stuff. And unlike in later versions, you know, with seasons or... Hey, what is going on over here? Did he run out of seeds? Is that what's going on? Who's with the cedar? Oh, for goodness sakes. I wonder how many times he's gone over this, having run out of seeds. Wow. I just filled it. Okay, that's interesting to me. So to plant sugar beets takes a boatload of seed. Well, now I'm wondering if my cedar was actually full when I started, and all it did was just that little bit. Oh, I guess I have to be more vigilant. You know, what's disappointing is the hired help, they don't stop when they are out of seed. Wow, that uses it even faster than fuel. Yeah, I would have thought by now, with the driving around and everything we did, that we would have been done with that little field. But we're not, so I'm gonna have to be a little more vigilant watching this, it appears. Here's where I probably should have another mod. You know, oh yeah, it turns out it ran out over here. I don't know that the glance mod existed. Let me just come in here and try to plant this. There was, what was it called? Farm Sim Inspector? I don't remember who made the Inspector mod. I know in later years, Farm Sim 15, maybe 13, there was one called Glance by Decker MMIV, and that's the one I tended to use. But I think there was one back in the day called Inspector, and it was kind of handy. It would sit kind of off on the left side of your screen, and it would tell you what all your workers were doing. So probably, and I think it would tell you how much was in them. So if there's a combine, it would tell you what it was combining, how full it was, and just some basic data to help you manage, you know, all your stuff. Let me watch this. Oh wow, yeah, that's taking the speed down quick. Look at that. It's like every second a percentage goes down. So, all right, let me go over here to this. Let me get a hook back up. I'm gonna have to pay much closer attention here to my cedar. As long as he is... Oh, that was terrible! Actually, in real life, that might have been a fuel tank explosion to pull a boneheaded stump like that. Okay, let me get this over... Well, already our lizard is where he's supposed to be, so maybe let me head to him real quick. Can I get to him? Alright, we're up here. Let's take the cores off, and hopefully before our guy meets some sugar beets down there, we will get him dropping the biofuel kind of in the place. This is to power the water pump. There we go. Alright, that should do. Oh, except that's the wrong one. Okay, the Raba with the cedar. Alright, let's get back to this dude. Yeah, until I'm seeding something else, it probably isn't feasible to sneak away Well, maybe I could do a little fertilization. I just gotta keep an eye on this dude. So let me go to this guy here, and we'll head off and try to do another bit. And on the planter over there, it probably isn't quite every second that a percentage drops, because he's obviously going to be taking some time, you know, to turn around at the ends and that kind of thing. So I'll need to keep an eye on him, because I have a feeling the time that we were gone hauling the fuel tank down there, he should have literally finished that field. He probably did, and then because he recognized that it wasn't entirely planted, it started coming back, you know, the other way. Turn around here and try to tackle around this field obstruction here. Oh, these are so steep in here too. Oh my goodness, you would never ever do this in real life. Driving over these rocks. Oh, yeah. Come on, tractor, you can do it. Yeah. This is some terrible driving, folks. That's kind of probably a unique angle to see all this. Yeah, the top part doesn't really have much in the way of fertilizer. Oh, what can I say? You gotta be a little creative in this field. If you want the honest truth, this is so doggone steep, I don't know that anybody would be farming this back here anyhow, other than on a farming sim map. But actually, at some point, I do hope to get some hillside combine mods going. Here, let's get this little bit over here. You'll notice that the fertilizer spreader isn't running out very quick. It holds a boatload in here of product. So I'm sure I modded it at some point to hold more than it probably is designed for. I think I modded the working area. I don't remember what all I did with it. Oh, let's go check our seeder. Yeah, he's out. Went through the hedge. Let's get him up here. Fold him up so we can come in and get more seed. Wow, it's Feldy replanting. Let's see if I can do this without hitting the. There we go. It's expensive to plant the tuber crops, you know, I assume potatoes would be similar, but I guess I don't know how much seed they use. But now I'm wondering if I did something modding wise, you know, that made it so it uses so much seed. I don't know, maybe well, maybe this is how Yip set it up. I think in Farming Sim I haven't done a ton with tuber crops. I did do some in Farm Sim 15, and I didn't notice when you plant potatoes, a little planter, you know, that they give you that comes with the game, you do go through it pretty quick. So it could be it just with planting a tuber, maybe it just takes way more in terms of the weight, you know, when you're planting the field. Let me get to the 270. Close enough for government work. Alright, let's give it a go. He's gonna run out. Let's try to button this down. Get just a little bit more on this field and we're gonna have her done. Trying to conserve it. I know there's a limited supply and quantity. Alright, so we got this fertilized. This has kind of just been what I've been doing off cam. Planting, fertilizing, following everything up. So since we just refilled our planter, I'm going to go grab the other tractor, which is number 8. Now, I think... there's so many things I'll need to do off cam. I'm gonna go get the baler. That's right, I'm gonna get the baler. And because there's some areas I need to clean up, just to have a tidy map. You know, in later versions, I think when we got to Farming Sim 17 with the Seasons mod, it started to rot. The grass swaths, they'd be left on the ground unattended or not converted to hay. So eventually, all those random little bits, that would be left on a map, they'd be taken care of by the Seasons mod. There's the bell. Well, and of course, in Farm Sim 11, we don't have that luxury, so anything that's left a mess, and since it's kind of the off season here, we basically need to take care of it ourselves. So it isn't even so much a farming function, I don't feel. This is just kind of maintenance on the map to get rid of an eyesore, that shouldn't be there. I believe I parked the baler kind of down over here on the main farm, so yeah, that sheep is still trying to get in the pasture. I wish someone would let him in right there. We'll go down our road stretch here, and maybe we'll hear Farmer Yip. Yeah, there it is, dead ahead. Alright. Yeah, he's telling us to get out, get started farming. Alright, there we go. Hopefully I don't give anybody vertigo with swinging the camera around. I really like the, what's that, the quick camera? That's another Decker mod, where you can change the camera angles by pressing some keys. I don't know all of them, but I like being able to do fore and aft, like we just did. Well, anyway, like I say, I've tried to spare you of most of this as I get the map replanted, going field by field by field, trying to set up our cropping patterns for the coming year. So the bell's already rung. I'll probably just continue on working in here, and I'll bid you all a wonderful day. Hope you had enjoyed this particular episode and enjoying Feldy for what it represented at the time. It's a map ahead of its time. So, well done, Farmer Yip. We will see you all on the next one. Goodbye for now.